Hello, merfolks! Welcome back to the Siren Grotto, where we explore our creativity to the ocean's edge. For those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Heather, otherwise known as Siren of Sound across all social media. I'm a singer, multi-instrumentalist, voiceover artist, general voice collector, siren queen. Let's see, what else? Digital artist, photo and video, creative stuff, graphic design, and also Mr. Siren and I run Sharp as a Track recording right here out of our home in southern Arizona. So if you are looking for creative stuff from end to end, literally from ideation all the way to finished products, we're your folks. So why is today extra special? Today is extra special because, I mean, number one, new set. Hello. She needs a name. We're trying to decide between Bona Lisa, Bonatella, Octave. If you have any names that you are thinking of, maybe for her, drop them in the comments below. And also, make sure to join that Patreon because that's where the official voting will occur. Not only that, but we are continuing our Heathoween programming with more makeup palette reviews and discussions of unsolved true crimes, paranormal discussions, all of the spooky Heathoween things. And today, I have been saving this palette, today's palette, since July. I ordered it in July for you guys, and it is such a thing of beauty. I cannot wait to show it to you. That's right. Today, we are going to be reviewing the Sirens palette by Jolie Beauty. Oh, look at this thing. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. Also, because it's Heathoween! Still, it's Heathoween! And we have something incredible going on for you today. We have been discussing true crime, paranormal activity, and discussing makeup at the same time. Now, you have people on YouTube who do true crime discussion. You have mysteries and makeup, and you have true crime and makeup, but how many of them actually discuss the product and talk about a paranormal story at the same time? So today, in addition to going over the Jolie Beauty Sirens palette, we're also going to be discussing a very spooky unsolved mystery of the abandoned, derelict Mary Celeste, a story that has captivated investigators since 1872. So, I'm gonna go grab my supplies, you batten down the hatches, and get ready to discuss today's unsolved mystery. Alright, merfolks, I have been holding onto this palette since July, and if you are following me across all of my socials, especially on TikTok and on Instagram, you have seen looks done with this palette already. But for those of you who aren't, number one, what are you waiting for? Get on those. Number two, you've got to check these colors out. Unreal. Oh my god, I'm fangirling so hard. This palette is literally going to be my go-to until the end of time. Seriously, at least until we unbox the next one. Because these colors, these shades are absolutely gorgeous. I love every single one of them. There isn't one that I haven't tried yet that I am not completely impressed with the formulation, the consistency, the swatching them just with your fingertip. They are so buttery smooth. The shades themselves, the color story in this is just phenomenal. I have never seen a green shade range that goes into the olives and browns of it all. Really like kelp. You have actual seaweed, kelp, planktony colors in this, in addition to some really incredibly rich purples. I don't know how she did it. I do not know how Jolie did it. Purples are the most difficult shade to make consistent in, it doesn't matter whether it's a matte, a shimmer, a foil, a glitter. Purples are the most difficult shade to get consistent every single time, and she has done it. She has absolutely done it. I am pretty sure that I am going to hit pan on this probably by Christmas, I would imagine. Can we just talk about the case first and foremost? I mean, 28 shades, 12-month shelf life, though we all know what I say, okay? On powders, you can keep powders forever. And let's talk about the mirror. The mirror is incredibly high quality. I don't see any kind of like, you know how sometimes when you get a palette that's relatively inexpensive and there's either no mirror whatsoever, or it does kind of like some kind of a weird funhousey kind of effect and distorts what you actually look like. This one, absolutely not. This is a very high quality mirror. I don't see any issues with it whatsoever, consistently across the board. And look how cute with the scales around it. And it says around it, you look simply mermazing. Ah, can you even? Can you even? Oh my gosh, it's the cutest thing. So, okay, so I am going to grab the rest of my supplies and then we're gonna get into applying these colors. Ah! Okay guys, it would not be a siren look unless I was using my mermaid brushes. So I have to use my siren-y brushes. And today I'm using just a combination of these cute glittery mermaid tail brushes and these unicorn brushes that I think just look like, I don't know, some kind of ocean something. And some glittery ones that I'm in love with, a couple of Real Techniques. These mermaid brushes all just came from, believe it or not, they came from my local dollar store. All right, my merfolk, as per usual, the products that we're using today are going into the link down in the description below so that you can follow along and try things out for yourself. And again, as always, they will be linked as available. So I'm starting out today laying this foundation with a Hard Candy Long Wear 12-Hour Wear Primer. And it's the mini travel size. I love this stuff. It actually makes your face nice and sticky, and I am so into that. I'm here for that. And we're matching with the Hard Candy Glamouflage Concealer, Heavy Duty Concealer. It is my absolute favorite. Right under the eye. We do multi-level contour here, and we start with getting as even and blank a canvas as possible. So, the Mary Celeste, let's talk about it. This was an American merchant brigantine that set sail on November 7th, 1872 from New York City, headed for Genoa, Italy. Actually, it was American only in the fact that it was purchased by an American marine merchant. She was actually built in Nova Scotia. Every single voyage of this ship from first to last resulted in disaster. Maiden voyage was very exciting. Usually the maiden voyage from the little town from whence it set sail the first time was a small fishing village, and normally they would have like literally they would have a celebration, they'd have a party, they would set christen the ship and all of that in the traditional way. But also, I thought this was really funny, they would have a garage sale at the same time. So like everybody would do like their rummage sale once the ship was gone, because really, what do you do after you watch it float off into the distance, you know? So I thought that was interesting, but of course she crashed from the maiden voyage from Nova Scotia into Maine. She ran ashore and was damaged, and then it was purchased and taken to New York by the next owner. So right out of the gate, it's fraught with problems, right? And the amount of money that was made off of the sale of the salvaged ship was less than how much it cost to actually repair all of the damage to her hull. So she was completely redone. It cost over $11,000 and she was only purchased for, I think, $1,700. Yeah, $1,700 in auction at salvage. So now we're going in with the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1, and this is the shade 0A1 Alabaster. And this is quite literally the lightest shade known to man. Like even Juvia's Place doesn't have a shade this light. And I was very surprised about that, actually, because both of these lines, both Milani and Juvia's Place, originally were created for women of color. So eventually it ended up 3 captains later in New York. And on board, when it set sail, was Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife, who was also his cousin, Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia, and a crew of 7 men. Now, it's interesting because Captain Briggs was a 3rd-generation seafarer and a 2nd-generation captain. His brothers were also ship's captains and followed in the family footsteps. And so this gentleman is highly experienced, very confident. It also is very well documented that he was a Christian man. He and Sarah had a 7-year-old son. I can't remember the son's name, but the son was not on board the Mary Celeste because he was at boarding school and was living with his grandma. Nearly a month after setting sail, on December 4th of 1872, the Mary Celeste was discovered adrift in the Atlantic, right off the coast of the Azores Islands, which is off the coast of Portugal. And it was found by a ship that had left the New York port several days after, and they were on the same route bound for Genoa. And they see the ship just kind of floating in the ocean, slightly off course. So they go over, they send out a boarding party to find out what's up, and they find the ship completely abandoned, no damage, all of the provisions were on board, none of the food had been prepared, nothing was out of place or stolen, with the exception of a couple of instruments, and the captain's quarters were slightly disheveled. The ship's log, at least the part that they found, the most recent entry was 10 days prior. So now I've gone back in with the Glamouflage a second time, and now we have a nice blank canvas, and I'm going to demonstrate the effectiveness and the beauty of this palette. So I'm going to go in with some of the first colors in this palette, and I think we're going to go for a bright look on this today. I know it's not very Halloween-y, but it's siren-y, yeah? And what I've found, a trick that I learned a long time ago, is that when you use the same color story to contour as you do the rest of your look, your entire face looks so much more put together than if you just go in with like a typical, your everyday bronzer and contour according to your complexion, right? Contour according to the colors that you're using on your face. That's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. Just to demonstrate the effectiveness and the versatility of this palette, I'm going to go in with the shade Temptress, and that's what I'm going to use to start my contour today. So the ship's cargo was largely intact, and they were carrying industrial grade alcohol, so there really wasn't anything on the ship that was of worth to the layman, you know? Like, if it had been pirates, which was quickly outruled, actually, because of this, if it were pirates, why would they just leave everything behind? You know, the stove wasn't going, the little cat that they had aboard that Sophia named was gone. Like, every living soul was gone. And that was literally the only thing. Like, there was no damage to the hull, no damage to the masts. The only damage was a little bit of a torn sail. So just like we're building this look on layer by layer, the story of the Mary Celeste is a layered mystery that we're going to continue to unravel. But for now, let's let that portion of it sink in as we set. A lot of you wonder about how to take care of your double chin. It's very simple. You just take a very thick, fluffy brush. If it's angled, even better. And you're going to go in with a little combination of a light shade and a darker shade in the same color family that you used on your cheekbone. Tap, tap, tap it off. And you simply work in a little triangle right up to the chin, underneath your jawline, and there's your under double chin contour. Chin contour is fabulous for when you need just that little extra something in your look, you know? There you go. All right, I am going in, and I'm only doing one eye at a time. That's how you prevent your eyeshadow primer from creasing, is just do one eye at a time. So I'm using the Photo Focus eyeshadow primer from Wet n Wild. And this is a light base because blank canvas, remember, we're going after that blank canvas. And I'm doing eye application so that it spreads evenly and it's getting all over the lid. And there we are. We're just gonna do one eye at a time. You see how on the other eye the foundation is settling in the crease? That's how you prevent that from happening with your eye primer, is just do one at a time. For this eye shade today, I think we're gonna do just a basic smoky eye. Yeah, just something simple and wearable and lots of fun. Let's dip into one of the matte shades. Since we contoured with a green, we're gonna go kind of along the same side of the color wheel, stay nice and cool with the shade Ocean, and I'm gonna go all over the lid. That's going to make the rest of the look come together and make this whole thing all blendable and beautiful. That's something else I appreciate about this palette too, is that they don't have 19,000 neutrals, because how many palettes do we all already have with neutrals in them? You know what I mean? We're gonna go across, staying in that same color family, because I want to work kind of in a gradient. So I'm gonna go in with the same shade family and into the deep. It's this beautiful, beautiful green, and it really does shade in. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at how gorgeous and consistent that is. It really does fill in that shade so, so well. And since we've already established that that's the base shade underneath on the top, you can go about halfway down and get into your crease there and just make it so deep. Just like the ocean. Oh my gosh. Look at how beautiful that is. I cannot get over how gorgeous this palette is. Oh my gosh. Your eye socket helps you make kind of like a teardrop shape on your eyes. This is my go-to shape for everything. When you follow your own bone structure, that's when you really get the upliftment and the enhancement that you look for when you do makeup, right? There we go. So that's laid. Now, we work in triangles, and I'm going to take that same shade and bring it down in a triangle shape down underneath into the bottom lid, just like that. And I'm going in real time here. I'm going really fast because I just like to dust very lightly. Like, I'm not even pressing in. This is literally one dip of the color, and look at the longevity you get. The color payoff and the pigmentation on this palette is unreal. Look at that. I am blown away, and you should be too. Oh my gosh. Okay, I went ahead and I did my other side off camera for you guys. So I want to go ahead now and deepen it up with a different blue. So I like to work in triangles. So we already went down the triangle this way and ended up at the deep. Now I'm going to go into the triangle this way vertically and end up with Sailor. This shade of blue, royal blue, is so gorgeous. And I am going to go in on a triangle shape again. We're going to do a triangle shape, and we're going to go right just on the outer corner and start to really accent that crease area. Okay? Look at that. We're working outward, and we're working from out to in, out to in. You don't want to flick out because there's nothing to really catch underneath. And I'm tapping so lightly. I'm applying so lightly, you guys, and it's like, woo! Oh, yes, yes. All right, so let's talk about the ship's captain, Benjamin Briggs here. He was a seasoned sailor, a family man, again, devout, religious man. So they set sail on November 7th after several months and thousands of dollars in repairs to the ship, and a hand-picked crew, hand-picked by him, laden with raw alcohol, highly flammable cargo, yes. And let's go ahead and now work into the bottom lid, kind of like a false cut crease. And for this I need a wet application. I'm trying to hit pan on things too, so this is almost empty right now. I don't even know if you can still get it. But it's the Hard Candy Long Wear Sheer Envy Setting Spray. And spraying your packing brush with a little bit of setting spray and getting it wet is what is going to really help your shimmers and your foils pack a real punch. Well, let's go into the shade Rocky, which is a shimmer. We haven't done a shimmer yet on this. So we're gonna go into this shimmer shade with a packing brush and tap it in. So they set sail, and then they're discovered adrift by the Dei Grazia, the ship that left the same port several days later, December 5th, 1872. One lifeboat was gone, the crew was gone, there was some paperwork that was missing, and the logbook that was found, the last entry was dated 10 days before the ship was found. See how we created this beautiful green to teal to blue gradient all over the eye. I hope that you're following along with me and enjoying, or maybe you're just watching me apply, which is okay too. Now I feel like Bob Ross creating happy little trees. Maybe one of these days I'll create a happy little tree on my eyes. There we go. Okay, lovely. And then we're gonna go in with that same packing brush with that lovely buttery soft shimmer right underneath the lid as well, and like start to really line and accent it. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. And we're kind of playing connect the dots with all of the shapes that we've made so far. Now it's just a matter of connecting dots and filling in lines. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Now we're gonna get into the drama with a fluffy, fluffy brush. I'm gonna go into the shade Stormy. It looks like a black right off the bat. However, it has a tinge of olive green in it. So it's almost like this again, this kelpie kind of color. It's nice to have a warm black as opposed to a cool black like you see in so many palettes. And this is just going on the outer corner right over top of what we just did. And look at how it blows that eye out and smokes it out. Like really, wow. So as we get back into some of the final touches here, and I'm sorry, I know my lighting is not super, it's dark in here. As we get back into the finishing touches, let's talk about some of the theories about where the crew went, what happened, because none of them were ever heard from again. It's not like they went and took the lifeboat and ended up, you know, going ashore in Portugal and trying to contact anybody. Like, they just disappeared, all 10 of them. Gone, plus the kitty. Gone. Never to be heard from again. Again, super blendable. Super blending on this palette. OMG. I'm blown away. Blown away! Just like the derelict Mary Celeste. So, first of all, let's talk about the piracy theory as we go into one of these foils, which I know you all want to see. I do too. Let's go into the shade Song. This is their violet to blue shade shift, color shift. Oh my gosh. Can you see that? Oh, incredible. And I'm just going to put that right in that connecting point between the black and the shimmer blue, and do kind of like the spotlight eye on top of this false cut crease that we did. OMG. Just with the finger application. Oh my gosh. I mean, really. I mean, come on. All right, so the piracy theory. I don't think that the piracy theory holds water. Because the cargo, the personal belongings, everything was untouched, right? It doesn't make any sense. Like, what pirate worth his own salt would leave literally everything behind and just kidnap the crew? And even if they kidnap the crew, like, what point is there to kidnapping somebody and then not following through and making any kind of demands, or demanding a ransom, or letting anybody know where they are, right? All right, I just need to dip again. Like, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay. Yep. Yep. That wins everything. Literally wins everything. Look at how gorgeous this is, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, yeah. Next theory. Mutiny. Mutiny, I say. Could the crew have mutinied? Why? Why would the crew mutiny against Captain Briggs? Why would the crew mutiny after such a, after different expeditions where they have proven themselves seaworthy, and they've operated very well together as a crew on other ships before? None of them, this was their first voyage together. None of them. Everybody knew each other. Why would they do that to each other? It makes no sense. You know what else makes no sense? Is how this glitter is so strong. Like, how incredibly gorgeous it is without any kind of adhesive or glue or extra liner underneath it at all. Like, I want to see this perform over a dark shadow or like a dark lash or dark liner. OMG. OMG! Like, I can't with how good this is. Literally cannot with how good this is. Okay, I'm gonna go in with Okay, I'm gonna go in with Rocky, with my packing brush again. I'm gonna go back in with Rocky and do my brow bone and the inner corner. Oh yeah, beautiful. Let's just keep it simple. Keep it simple here. This video's already getting too long. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna go in with Rocky and oh, the color payoff is insane. Look at how much precision you can get with a packing brush in the inner corner. Just, oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay. All right. Yep. Yep, that wins everything. Okay. Literally wins everything. And then, watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in, okay. I'm gonna take my finger and just do a light little finger blend here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. All right, now we're gonna go back in with the glitter. Ah! I'm gonna go back in with the Ursula glitter. Oh my gosh. And we're gonna place it on the brow bone. So Mutiny doesn't really hold up either, guys. Mutiny does not hold water at all for me. Does it for you? I hope not. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Look at this color. Look at the glitter payoff. I mean, really, look at the payoff. Okay, next theory, aliens. Seafaring sea creatures, mythical sea creatures of all kinds, including aliens, krakens, and of course, sirens may have dragged them under. But, of course, you know, in this world they exist, but not in the real world. So, I don't know. I don't think we could do any of that, right? So, you know, there's lots of supernatural theories out there. We've got, you know, and then also the Mary Celeste was brought back in. It was the crew of the Dei Grazia brought it back in to shore, and they claimed salvage on it, and altogether each crew member only got about $800. So the conspiracy theory of them murdering the crew and boarding illegally and stealing the ship essentially and claiming it for salvage in Italy, nope, that doesn't hold weight either, because financially it made absolutely zero sense for them to do so, because they weren't going to get a whole lot from it, because it was so expensive to repair, and so many repairs had been done on it in the first place. By the way, I am using the color Seashell, the shade Seashell, just to do a little extra contouring down the nose. See that? How I'm like continuing to use the same color story? And then I'm gonna take my finger, not wipe, but tap the contour into the sides of my nose and down, so it doesn't look like there's this big long line on the side of my nose. And there we go. Yes. Let's use one of my simple no-name liners. This is the DNM Beauty in the shade number 404. It's this purple felt tip liner. I've had them forever, and I love them because they last literally all day. And they come in neutral colors as well, but I like to go for all of the crazy colors. I like to go for every color of the rainbow. I think life is too short to just speak neutral. There we go. Yes. And just a basic wing. So, after years and years of dereliction, repairs, problems, missing crew, several owners, finally, the final owner decided that he was going to get some money for this damn ship finally, right? So now I'm going into the shade Odyssey with my big fluffy contouring brush, and we're going to do a purple cheek. Oh yes. Purple cheek, purple temple. This is a very 80s thing to do, to go up into the temple with your blush. But look at the level of snatch that that placement achieves. I mean, now if you want to go for the e-girl thing, you can, and go into the apples of the cheeks and across your nose. But now I'm just playing because I love this. Okay, there we go. Yes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do some mascara, and today I'm just using the, again, Wet n Wild. It's Mega Plump Waterproof Mascara. Okay guys, the last part of this look is lips. Now, Jolie does have a lip collection that comes with this entire collection, the entire Siren collection. However, this girl's on a budget, so I have to use dupes, and I use what I think it looks really, really close. And what I've found in my own collection is the Jeffree Star liquid lip in the shade Mermaid Blood. It's very similar, though I do prefer the Jolie because it is a very rich, warm teal, and this one is quite cool. I'll show you. The color is very similar, however, it is absolutely not the same, but it's pretty darn close. And a quick overline. Cover up the inside. There we go. So yes, let's talk about this insurance fraud, shall we? The very last owner of the Mary Celeste decided that he was going to finally get some money out of this cursed ship. So he took it down to Haiti, where there is a very well-known, well-documented coral reef, and his crew ran it right into the reef. Tried to claim the insurance money, and every single one of them who was involved in the scheme was charged with fraud. And they got nothing. And the Mary Celeste ended up a pile of wood. There is nothing left of her, not even in a museum. And I'm doing multiple layers of this lipstick because I just love the color. I love the teals. Okay, now let's go in with some absolutely blinding highlighter. And we're gonna go with a highlighter that's very glittery and that has a very wet look, because this is a Siren look after all. There we go. Blinding, blinding. Right at the edge of the nose, a little bit. There we are. And there we have it. The story of the derelict, cursed Mary Celeste, and the color story of the incredible Jolie Beauty's Sirens palette. If you loved this content and you absolutely love this look, if you would like more access to behind the scenes content, perhaps more makeup tutorial content, voiceovers, lots of fun, a Discord community, a private server for you, free downloads, music, free music every month, free concerts, intimate concerts with me, Siren, what? Every single month? Yes, you heard that right. It's all found on Patreon in the Siren Grotto. Become an official Elegant Savage today and explore your creativity to the ocean's edge. Thank you so very much for joining me here on another episode of Sirens YouTube channel, where right now we are discussing makeup, we're discussing all of these true crimes, these unsolved mysteries, perhaps another John Doe case next week. I'm looking for some, guys. I'm looking for some that has to do with our next makeup palette. I hope you guys all enjoy. Have a wonderful, wonderful good morning, wherever and whenever you're watching this. Have a great day, and as always, I love you to the ocean's edge. Bye.